Have you ever heard of a country going to war against birds? It might sound like the start of a joke, but in 1932, Australia did just that. Welcome to the story of the Great Emu War, a bizarre chapter in history where humans and emus clashed in an unexpected and comedic battle. The story begins in the aftermath of World War I. Australian soldiers returned home to find themselves facing a new battle, not with humans, but with emus. These large, flightless birds, native to Australia, had begun migrating in large numbers to the western part of the country. Drawn by the fertile farmlands, they quickly became a serious problem. Emus, being the curious creatures they are, discovered the farmers' crops and decided they were the perfect buffet. As the emus wreaked havoc on the fields, the farmers were desperate. Their livelihood was being destroyed, and traditional scare tactics were proving useless against these feathered invaders. In their desperation, the farmers turned to the government, pleading for help. The Australian government, with the military fresh from the Great War, decided to send soldiers armed with machine guns to handle the situation. After all, how hard could it be to take down a few birds? The military, confident in their plan, set out to meet the emu menace. On paper, it was a simple mission: deploy soldiers, mow down the emus, and save the crops. However, reality proved much different. The emus, it turned out, were not only fast but incredibly resilient. In their first encounter, the soldiers fired upon the flock, only to watch in disbelief as the birds scattered in every direction, evading bullets with surprising ease. Days turned into weeks, and the emus continued to outsmart the military at every turn. The soldiers soon found themselves facing an enemy that was not only difficult to hit but seemed to be mocking their efforts. Emus would charge the guns in small groups, confusing the soldiers and splitting up to minimize casualties. The war quickly became an exercise in frustration, with the birds proving to be far more cunning than anyone had anticipated. After several failed attempts, the military was forced to admit defeat. The emus had won. Despite the deployment of thousands of rounds of ammunition, only a handful of birds had been taken down. The Great Emu War, as it came to be known, ended with the government withdrawing the troops and leaving the farmers to deal with the birds on their own. It was a victory for the emus, and a lesson in humility for the Australian military. Today, the Great Emu War is remembered as one of the most unusual conflicts in history. It has become a part of Australian folklore, a story told with equal parts humor and disbelief. It's a reminder that sometimes, even with all the might and machinery in the world, nature finds a way to humble us. So, the next time you see an emu, remember that you're looking at one of history's most unlikely victors. If you enjoyed this wild ride through history, don't forget to share, like, and subscribe for more incredible stories. Who knows what other crazy tales the past has to offer?